Welcome to GwinnettDailyPost.com. Todd Cline and Will Hammock here talking hoops and kind of talking post-NCAA tournament hoops, and specifically about Gwinnett grads who played well in the big dance, specifically a couple of UConn players. On the boys' side, it was Jeremy Lamb, a Norcross grad, and on the girls' side, it was Maya Moore, obviously a Collins Hill grad. Talk about a little bit about the seasons they had this year, and kind of ended a little bit differently than either one of them would have imagined.
Yeah, it's a long way here to the UConn basketball program, but certainly Gwinnett's stamp all over both the boys, men's and women's teams up there. Just Maya Moore, you really can't say enough about her career. Sending a team to the Final Four is really a great accomplishment for most people, but when your goals are as high as UConn's and Maya Moore's, they expect to win national championships. So to go out in the semifinals was not what they had planned, but I know Maya did all she could. She scored 36 in that semifinal loss. Jeremy Lamb, on the other hand, has a lot to celebrate. He came right in as a true freshman and made an impact on that team, kind of developed into the number 2 guy behind Kimball Walker, and has a national championship to show for it. Really, throughout the course of that season, just became more and more comfortable and more of a part of that team, and I think he's got a bright future. Everybody talked about it during the NCAA tournament, what a valuable asset he was to that championship team.
Yeah, let's stay talking about Jeremy Lamb. Probably one of the more unique players in Gwinnett County history, in that he was kind of not known that well, kind of burst on the scene as far as even being recruited by UConn, then goes to UConn and kind of burst on the scene and, like you said, made a name for himself in the tournament. Talk about maybe what his legacy is in Gwinnett County and kind of what his upside is for the rest of his career.
Yeah, he was a 6'1" JV player as a sophomore, and as a junior, he was the 6th man, a pretty good 6th man on the team, but didn't average in double figures. A solid player, but not a guy that you thought would go to a high-level college basketball program. Then really grew up and exploded the year before his senior year, the summer before his senior year. Really tore it up, and I think he really built on that and got more comfortable. For him, a lot of it's about comfort, and he certainly had the potential. He's a great shooter, a great offensive player, but I think what gets underestimated is his defense. He has the wingspan of a guy that's 7'4", so he's got those long arms. Really causes a lot of problems when he's guarding guys on the perimeter. I think you're going to see him in the NBA one day.
And while Jeremy Lamb kind of burst on the scene late, Maya Moore has pretty much been known all her life as a young girl. She was known when she came through the Gwinnett County programs, went to UConn. A lot was expected of her. I think we've heard a lot of national broadcasters talking about her legacy, and it's still a very shining one, despite not maybe getting that goal this year. Talk about her legacy at UConn and kind of what you expect of her as a professional.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would trade places with her. I mean, winning 2 national championships in your career is pretty darn good for the college level, but individually, I don't know if she could have done much more. She's a 4-time All-American. That doesn't happen all the time. 3-time National Player of the Year, so just an unbelievable career, unbelievable talent. I think she's going to accomplish a lot in basketball and beyond. I think you're going to see her maybe in sports commentating at some point in the future succeeding, but right now she's about to be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft, which will be a nice thing to add to her resume, and certainly probably going to have a long basketball career with the national team and in the WNBA.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Please check back next week for more Talkin' Sports at GwinnettDailyPost.com.